morning. So this is oftentimes how my mornings start. Looking a little disheveled. Micah actually left about 30 minutes later today, so we were able to sleep in just a tiny bit. He just headed out. I've got baby tucked into my dressing gown. No baby carrier, he's just snuggled up in here because it's chilly. It looks like it might have a little bit of frost outside, but not a complete first frost. I'm gonna have a cup of tea. Got my bowl of raisin bran that I'm gonna eat here really quickly. And then baby and I are gonna snuggle back up in bed and go back to sleep because I'm tired. It is something that's really important to me to take advantage of the fact that we can do that. I can go back to bed with baby and sleep. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you what my mornings usually look like first thing. I'm gonna have my big old cup of tea, just herbal teas. I'm not doing anything caffeinated because I'm breastfeeding, and it's really important to me that no caffeine or anything goes into the breast milk. So yeah, like I said, cup of tea, gonna eat my cereal, probably read my Agatha Christie. I'm reading Murder on the Orient Express right now. I'm gonna do that, and then by that point he might have woken up, so I'll probably change his diaper and feed him, and then we'll go back to sleep. Because I usually end up being up for about an hour or two after Micah leaves, and then we'll go back to sleep because it kind of depends. Some mornings he's up and bright-eyed and ready to go for an hour, and then some mornings he'll be asleep. But he was restless sleeping last night, which means that Mummy is restless sleeping too. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's get our day going a little bit before we go back to bed. It is about almost 4 hours later. I'm looking a little more dressed. I can't show you too much. I'm feeding baby at the moment. But yeah, we ended up napping for a couple of hours, and he's very conversational sometimes. And then I got up while he was still sleeping so I could really quick get my clothes on, get dressed, and then he kind of woke up and he was really happy, so I chatted with my mom. I FaceTimed my mom for a little bit. I try and FaceTime her when he's in a really happy, smiley sort of a mood. Because he, like, I think I've mentioned this before, he can be a little bit fussy at times, and so I try and FaceTime him whenever he's like in a kind of a cheery, happy mood, which tends to happen a lot more in the mornings. I'll like FaceTime him really quick and just be like, look at him, he's so cute. But yeah, so he's eating, so I'm gonna sit here and read my book for a little while. I've found that I've been reading a lot more books on my iPad since Baby Tam was born, just because it's so convenient. I really like my Kindle because it's small, but at night I can't really use it because it doesn't have the backlight. And so then I'll start a book on my iPad, and then it's kind of weird to transfer it to the Kindle to read during the daytime, so but yeah, so I think I mentioned this earlier. Right now I'm reading Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, and so I'm just gonna read that for a bit. And on my iPad I use the Libby app. It's phenomenal. It's basically a lot of libraries I think have it, and so you can just access a ton of ebooks for free. So it's really good. It tends to have the majority of the types of books that I would want to read, it tends to have those. But yeah, so Tam's had a couple diaper changes already, and he's all snuggled up and good to go. He's eating now, and then I'm gonna read, and then he'll probably go down to sleep, and then I have a little bit of my freelance work that I have to do. And then hopefully, I'm so hoping I can get some knitting time in today. I really, really want to do some knitting, so we'll see. I've got my cup of tea. As you saw, I'm drinking the, it's called Mother's Milk Tea. I'm drinking it not because I have any worries about my milk supply, but because it has a lot of really good herbs in it that Baby Tam tends to be kind of he's a pretty spit-uppy baby, if you will. He spits up a lot. And so I'm trying to make sure that teas that I drink, cinnamon tea, ginger tea, and then this tea has a bunch of different herbs in it, fenugreek, fennel, ginger, some other things in it. I'm trying to make sure that, trying to get some good herbs into my system so it'll go through the breast milk and into his stomach. So that hopefully it'll help him stop being so throw-uppy. Because not only does he spit up, he also has some issues with actually vomiting. The two classifications, spit up is just a little bit of dribble, vomiting is when it's like more projectile. Sorry, if you're not a mom, you probably don't want to know any of these things. But, yeah, so I've got that. I'm going to do my little bit of work. I'm going to try and do it really quickly because, like I said, I want to knit, and it's really hard to knit when he's awake. So, fingers crossed he sleeps for the next, like, a couple of hours, and then I can get that done because it would be so nice. But I'm going to do that really quick. And I actually need to check first. My husband, Micah, is in the process of getting a YouTube channel set up where he's going to be talking about like writing stuff and whatnot. And so he needed me to edit together. Why is it doing this? Okay. I have to mess with it because it keeps spazzing out and then glitching. Okay. Anyway, sorry, that's completely off topic. I'm gonna play with his video things here really quickly, and then I'm gonna get some work done. And I've made myself some biscuits and honey, which I just Googled it because I was like, what are biscuits called, American biscuits called, in the UK? Because I know that in the UK, biscuits are for cookies, which is what we call cookies in the US. And the closest thing they are to is scones, but I feel like the scones that we've made here in the US are completely different from what I would classify. Like, there's a significant difference between scones and biscuits. But basically, the way that I think of it is scones are kind of on the sweeter side of things. Biscuits are kind of like a neutral. They're not really sweet. They're not really savory. But we typically eat them with like soups and things. Or sometimes you can have them with like apple butter or jam or honey, like I'm having it here. So I was kind of curious because I was thinking that it probably was considered like a scone type of a thing, but I wasn't sure, so I Googled it. And that was correct. Anyway, let's get to work. I finished doing my work. I worked a little bit longer than I originally intended to because, also, he's in the carrier. Because there ended up being a few other things that I decided to get caught up on. So now it's actually almost 1 o'clock. So I'm going to get some lunch because I'm hungry. And I have just some leftover chicken and rice. And then I was able to sit down and do just a row or two of knitting. And I checked Instagram. It's one of those things that I decided when I got back onto Instagram that I wanted to make sure that I wasn't spending like all day doing stuff on Instagram. So I decided to make myself the... Also, apologies. He's really loud. Yeah. He's getting mad. Hold on. Continue in a minute. Okay. I got him his pacifier, so hopefully he'll be a little quieter. Anyway, what I was saying is that I have given myself the restriction that I don't go onto Instagram until after 12 o'clock, so afternoon. And then I'm allowed to check it whenever I want to for the rest of the day, basically. But that just makes sure that I'm not messing about on Instagram, getting distracted first thing in the morning. So I did my little check through, and that was really fun. I fed little Bubba here. Yeah. So now he's snugged up in the carrier again so I can get some lunch. But yeah, so did my work. So hopefully I can go ahead and do some knitting. He'll probably go down for a nap again here soon. He typically kind of does that, where he eats and then he's still enough of a baby, newborn, whatever, that he'll probably go to sleep here again in another 15-20 minutes, and then he'll be out for a bit. And then I'm going to sit. I'm going to watch a Lovely Yarn podcast. She uploaded a new episode and I'm super excited to watch it, Amber. And I'm going to watch that and do some knitting. That is my game plan. We'll see if I can make it happen. I'm watching part of The Inheritance, which is I think it was just a made-for-TV movie. It's supposedly based on the Louisa May Alcott novel, which is one of my favorite books. I absolutely love it. I really enjoyed the film as well. However, it is not remotely like the book. The names are the same, and that's about it. Like, everything else is completely different. But I still enjoy it. It's kind of fun and charming and sweet and period drama and wholesome romance sort of a thing, which is completely my type of a movie. That is the sort of thing I'd love watching. But it's so funny to me because I have read the book so many times and I absolutely love the book. Some people will probably say that the main character, Edith, is way too perfect and blah blah blah. I don't care. I love the book. I love sweet, wholesome romances, and I don't care if sometimes characters are a bit too perfect, if you will. I don't mind. I absolutely, yeah, if I haven't said it enough already, I absolutely love that book. But it is fun to watch this movie. I've seen it probably 4 or 5 times at this point, just because it is so simple and fun. And I'm just working on my knitting, snuggling my little baby boy. It's a good day. Mike is going to be home probably in the next 30-ish minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end things here. I'm trying to be a little bit quiet because baby's on the bed asleep. He was being really fractious and not wanting to calm down, and then we snuggled for a bit and I fed him and he's fast asleep, and it's so cute. I never understood why people would talk about watching their children sleep until I had him, and he's just so sweet when he's asleep. So I've been sitting over here working a few rows on my cardigan. It's a test knit I'm doing for Emily of the Blue Mouse, and I'm working on the back panel piece. So I have both the front panel pieces done and I'm working on the back panel. And I finished my Murder on the Orient Express, and I am reading or rereading one of Patricia Wentworth's Miss Silver books. If you haven't heard of the Miss Silver series and you're a fan of kind of Golden Age murder mysteries, I highly recommend them. They are so cozy and wonderful, and every one of them has like a sweet little romance as a side part of the plot, and Patricia Wentworth's writing is just lovely. They're just amazing. I fell in love with them at the beginning of this year when I was still pregnant and I was morning sick, and I was just in bed like all day, and I just ate up every single one of the books in the series, and I just was in the mood to reread some of them. So I'm rereading, I think it's Miss Silver Comes to Stay, and they're just so lovely. It's about a sleuth, Miss Maud Silver, she used to be a governess, and she kind of got pulled into being a detective, and it's so lovely. She's like always knitting, and she's just really good at reading people and figuring out things. She's kind of like Miss Marple, Agatha Christie's Miss Marple, although to be fair, I personally much prefer Maud Silver, Miss Silver, because sometimes Miss Marple kind of annoys me. She seems a bit dithery. And Miss Silver is always incredibly practical, and she's just a wonderful character. And I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy her books. So I'm going to reread some of those. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here with this vlog. I hope that you've enjoyed this first and what I hope is going to be a mini-series of autumn vlogs. I just want to kind of record some of the day-to-day goings-on of my stay-at-home mum life. I know that they're not the most particularly interesting, but they're mine, and I just so treasure this phase of my life, this time of my life, and I think it would be lovely to record it. And yeah, just watching Gayna's Tales of Cuckoo Land, her vlogs, and they're just so homey. And that's kind of what I want to do. I hope that I can learn how to be better about doing that and get that across. Yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed, and I am looking forward to making more of these, so stay tuned if that's your sort of thing. I just kind of want to lean into more and embrace more just the kind of slow, simple, cozy living. I think I'm going to slow down on some of the test knitting that I'm doing and just really embrace the cozy autumn vibes. And then Thanksgiving's going to be here soon, and then Christmas, and I just want to really, I don't know, relish those times. So I'm hoping to share some of these little snippets with you. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like, and if you would like more of this type of content, feel free to subscribe. I am planning to do my regular podcast episode as soon as I can, but the reality is that I just don't have as much time for making things, and so I feel like I might have to space out my podcast episodes a little bit more to more like once every 3 weeks or maybe once a month. Just for now, for this phase of my life where I just can't make as much stuff. I don't really want to film a podcast if I've got like one thing to share. So I will probably have to space them out a little bit, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you so very, very much for watching, and I will see you hopefully very soon on the next one. Bye.